Yo, what's up, guys? Uh, it's Sunday. Um, I just actually woke up not too long ago, and I grabbed my phone as I always do to see if you guys have left any questions or comments from YouTube. And as I'm going through all my stuff, that's lined up on the top of your screen. You got messages and messages on Messenger and all that kind of stuff. I'm going through and I'm responding to stuff, and I get to the YouTube stuff, and the first thing I see is a header from Joy Amin, and in the picture, written in the sand on the beach, it says "End of a Journey." So, first thing I'm thinking is, the fuck is going on? Like, that's my man's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of the reasons why I have over half of the shit that's in my collection. Um, he in my um fragrance world is really the only person right now that I really watch and listen to. And that's not, I'm not saying this just because, he just said that, he's about to give up doing fragrance reviews. And I'll give you the reason why if you don't know why. But I used to be heavy into watching Big Beard Business, and then his channel changed. Um, he's still funny, but I don't tend to, and I haven't unsubscribed from his channel. Um, he tends to do more of the high end stuff now, like Black Phantom and a lot of Creed stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. People evolving their channels and stuff. Uh, you know, people out there can really make a living off of doing this thing if they really choose to. And I'm not knocking him for doing that. But my thing is, what about the little people? Because you started out doing fragrance reviews on the cheapies and the older fragrances, and then all of a sudden it's all about the new stuff. It's okay to still do some cheapies and every now and then throw in a new one, a Black Phantom here, or a Creed there, or a Montage here, or whatever. But you know, it is what it is. It's to each his own. Joy said that he has some debts he has to pay, some people who he got fragrances from, and stuff like that. And this was one of the things that was he was making his living off of, but he's come to that fork in the road, the proverbial fork in the road, and you can either stay on the path you've been on, or you can choose a new path, and he's uh, choosing a new path. I'm not mad at my brother for that. I wish him the best in whatever it is he chooses to do. Nothing but peace and blessings. Um, he is one of the main reasons, like I said, why I have over half of the shit that's in my collection. And I really just pulled out a few items that I could think of off top that he kind of persuaded me to try and look into. One of them was one a subscriber sent me, and I actually could have bought this on my own, but um, you know, Aspen is one of them. He talked about it and he got me into it again because I did have this when I was younger. I wasn't a frag head back then, so I didn't know what I had until now. And I can appreciate fragrances more that I'm older now and I understand, you know, that you have to let them dry down. If they horrible in the opening, sometimes they turn into something beautiful on the dry down. He taught me that. Um, Another one that I knew nothing about, but I didn't really. This has been around for a long time. I didn't know about back in the day, but I know about now. And it's not the most beautiful fragrance in the world, but he kind of coaxed me into buying this one also, and I still haven't worn it yet. I've had it a few weeks. Um, I've heard a bunch of other people, some subscribers of mine, talk about this fragrance also, and they said it was pretty good. Um, so when I get to wear it, I'll find out. But Drakkar Noir is another one that I've heard him talk about. Not just him, a few other people that I watch. Um, he persuaded me to get this one. And I'm giving you guys credit too, because some of you guys have heard me talk about a lot of these fragrances, and some of you guys like them, some of you guys don't. But I have them mostly because of Joy talking about them, especially one like this one. He's talked about this one a lot, and he loves this one. This is Paco Rabanne. He's the reason why I have this one. I recently bought this one a few weeks ago. Kind of barbershoppy, almost in the same lines of Drakkar and Aspen, but another decent fragrance that you have to let dry down. Kind of harsh in the opening with that pine needle type smell, the green forest type smell. But once it dries down, it turns into kind of a vanilla fragrance, also kind of barbershoppy. Another one that he was big on was Boucheron Pour Homme. And he talked about this one, but he actually likes the other one better. There's another one. I can't think of the name of it, but he talked about another Boucheron fragrance. And he's the reason why when I saw this in TJ Maxx, and it actually was like 15, 20 bucks, I actually jumped on it. I don't per se like it. Kind of smells dated to me, like a older man scent, but also smells like lemon scented pledge to me. But he's the reason why I bought this. Sung Om is another fragrance that he talked about. He liked. He says that it's an older fragrance. He says it doesn't really smell dated. It smells more of like a clean, out the shower, fresh type smell. Has some bluish purple looking juice. And I didn't want to buy it at first because I'm not really big on soapy scents. But when I bought it and I actually sprayed it and smelled it, it actually smells pretty damn good to me. I like it. I was really surprised. And it only takes one, maybe two sprays of this, and it'll last you all day. So I credit this one also to Joy. I mean, I saw it, I bought it, I liked it. This is one I have actually been looking into for a while, and he's the one who brought it up. Diesel Plus Plus Masculine. I watched a video that he did on this one maybe a year or so ago, and I always used to put this in my basket on Fragrance X, and I always took it out and I would stick something else in there in its place because something else seemed more interesting to me than this. But he talked about it constantly, said that it was a great fragrance. It's not anything groundbreaking or game, but the smell is amazing. I like this also, and I'm glad I finally have it. Another one that he talked about a lot. He actually talks about this fragrance house a lot, and it's a house of Jacques Bogart, and he talked about Bogart scents a lot, and this is one of them that he did talk about, and it was Silver Scent Pure, which also spawned me to buy Silver Scent Deep, which is one I'm supposed to be sending off soon. Hopefully, whenever I get some money, I can get this to my guy. But he talked about both of these fragrances, and if it wasn't for me buying and liking this one, I wouldn't have had this one. So he got a 2-for-1 in this one. And the last one I'm going to show you that he talked about a lot. I mean, a whole hell of a lot. And he says he loves this fragrance. and it really has me interested to see what else they have from this line, and that is Bentley for Men Intense. He talked about this so much, I got sick of hearing about it, and he really had me stoked to see what it smelled like. I love the bottle presentation on it. It's like some big boy shit. The top even has an indentation and it has some writing inside. It says Bentley franchises. The attention to detail is amazing. The smell surprised the fuck out of me because I didn't expect it to smell the way it smells. This is a real gentleman scent. This is grown and sexy. It doesn't have a lot of sweetness. It's more boozy, woody, kind of earthy. Not like some of those fragrances I've called out in the past, like um, that Versace L'Homme that smells like shit. Some other ones that I picked up that I talked about that I didn't like, but he's the main reason why I have a lot of my collection, guys. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm sad that he's leaving the fragrance game, because he's one of the true in my book, he's a pioneer. Now, I know there are guys like Robes '08 who started the fragrance thing, who has been around for more than, a couple of years. I think Joy said he started this in 2016. I don't exactly know how long Robes '08 has been doing this, but ever since I started, Joy was one of the ones that I started watching. Between him, Big Beard, Ash from Gent Sense, I did started watching Jeremy Fragrance, but all the controversy with him and the way he did his fragrance deterred me from watching his channel, so I unsubscribed from that. I watched Mr. Smelly. To me, his channel is a little boring, so I don't watch him as much. I watched the guy, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but he usually goes to like Ross and TJ Maxx and all that. He videos his trips to the store. I watch his videos. He's pretty funny. Well, not really funny, but his is kind of interesting because I like sitting on there watching and seeing what he's gonna run into. I'm sorry. Y'all know how my phone is retarded. Cole Freeman Sense. What's up, my guy? I never received anything from you, my friend. You said you was gonna send me something, so I'm still waiting. Okay, so I'm going to get Primitive Man, and I have Dior Sauvage. If you already have Sauvage, don't waste your time buying Primitive Man. It's not worth it. The only reason why you would want to buy Primitive Man is if you didn't have Sauvage and you didn't want to spend the coin for it. I wouldn't waste my time. I mean, it smells good, and on my skin, it lasted a pretty decent amount of time. But that's the whole purpose of buying a clone or a substitute, is because you don't want to spend the coin for the original. So it makes no sense to have the actual and the clone. Um, like I have Tristan Wheat and I have Aspen. There's no reason for me to have Green Irish Tweed whatsoever. And if I did have Green Irish Tweed, then I would have to get rid of Aspen and Tristan Wheat, in my opinion. Now, some people can get a collection and have the original and have the clones at the same time. Me, that's redundant. And I don't want to keep buying the same fragrance over and over and over. Even though Aspen and Tristan Wheat smell the same, on the dry down, the opening is different. On Tristan Wheat, it's sweet all the way through. Aspen starts out piney, green, and then it turns into vanilla, sweetness, whatever you want to call it. So, in my personal opinion, my friend, don't waste your time unless you just want to go spend $8, for no reason. I don't see any point in it. What do you mean you tried to send it? I mean, if you already have the fragrances, all you have to do is take them to, your local post office, and they'll get you the materials, the packaging, the boxes that you need, and you have my address. I mean, they'll help you. But I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at all. Um. Anyway, that's the news that I woke up to this morning. Um. The old me would have woke up and been devastated. I would have been upset and hurt. But Joy is one of those people that you know is gonna be okay. Uh, in whatever he does, he's a great guy. Y'all have heard me talk about his name more than anybody else's since I've been doing fragrance. I've watched other people do reviews, and I've learned to love and like some of these other guys' reviews. But Joy is one of those ones where you watch and he has you like this. You're glued to you're glued to the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to know, he has you drawn in by how he talks about how elegant something is and how beautiful this is and how great this smells and whatever it is. And he tries to give you them funny little corny jokes and stuff. Some people just try too hard. Cuba Knows is a great guy also. I like watching his reviews, but you know he's one of the ones who I kind of noticed starting to slick, like take that veer off, and he's now talking about more higher end stuff. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but once you get used to somebody coming on every week or every day saying, I'm gonna bring you the cheapies and you guys are such and so, and then all of a sudden he's talking about Creed Aventus and um, some other higher end stuff uh, that don't interest me. I tune to like swipe right and keep them videos rolling. Like I don't even want to watch that stuff. Um, and I know every now and then I bring out a fragrance that costs like 70, $80. I don't have many of them. I can look on my counter right now and tell you I have maybe one, two. I have about two fragrances that cost me over $60. Excuse me. So, you know, a lot of stuff I am interested in, I just can't afford, and I'm not even gonna try to attempt to spend that kind of coin and have myself in a bind. Cause you guys know my living situation. Um, I'm in an extended stay hotel. I've been in here for more than probably 2 years. Um, right now, I'm content with where I am, just for the simple fact that until I can find either one good job that pays more, or replace my second part-time job with another full-time job to where I can make more money. I can't afford to get in a place that I'm gonna have to pay $7, $8, $900 rent, and then I gotta pay light bill, water bill if it's not included. Um, I gotta pay gas if it's gas there. Um, I can't afford that. Plus, pay child support. That's coming out my check, 200 and something dollars every 2 weeks. I gotta pay car insurance. I got two loans I'm paying. Like I don't have the coin for all of that. So right now I'm content with where I am. I mean, my kids suffer a little bit because when they want to come stay with me, I don't have enough room for them, and that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? But you know, right now it is what it is. I got a daughter that's about to graduate. I'm proud of her. My son is doing much better um, in school. So right now I'm not concerned about anything but them getting and doing what they want and need to do. Um, and it's fine with me. But Joy, I don't know if he'll ever get to see this video because I don't even think that, you know, he's a subscriber or he watches my videos. But, you know, whatever your endeavors are, my friend, I hope you succeed. Um, and like I said, I left a comment on your video this morning. Nothing but peace and blessings, my friend. Um, Kind of sounded like the damn uh, Dos Equis man for a second there. But yeah, I hope, you know, I pray that everything goes well for Joy. And he did say he was do if someone loans him a fragrance, um, a new fragrance or whatever, then he'll do a review on it. So he's not completely out of the game. We will still see a video every now and then may pop up from him, like he said. But as far as like him buying and purchasing his own fragrances, he says he's not gonna do too much of that. In which, on a personal level, thinking about that, he loves fragrances too much. He loves the fragrance game too much, and I think he'll be back full time. Um, and if not full time, he'll probably be back doing fragrance reviews. You know, not as constantly as he been doing them, like every day. But I'm pretty sure we will see a lot of still a lot of content from him. Uh, he also talked about the negativity in the fragrance world in the fragcom game. People are bashing other people, and that's one thing I try not to do is bash people. I do speak the truth when it comes to their fragrance reviews on the content because a lot of people can't afford a lot of those higher end fragrances. And there are a lot of people in this world who can. So I know those channels tend to be more for those people, in which, like I said, all we have to do, us little people, if we don't like the video that they're talking about a higher end fragrance, we don't even have to watch it. But when you get that content constantly all the time, and us guys are sitting back waiting, like, okay, when is something gonna be cheap enough for us? When are you gonna review something for us? That's what keeps me doing the shit that I do for people like me who can't afford that higher end stuff. So yes, when me and another guy the other night was talking about Silver Scent Pure and all of that, one of my subscribers was like, "What the fuck is Silver Scent Pure? Y'all are talking about some shit I ain't never heard of," and I had to show him. So that's what I'm talking about. There are people in the world who don't even know nothing about these fragrances, and they run you about $15 online. I've never seen any of these in a store actually, but on Fragrance X they run you about $14, $15. And my guy said he never even heard of them. So, you know, now you know you can go to Fragrance X or Fragrance Net or, you know, whatever other website you want to use. Type in these names and it'll pull it up. You'll be surprised at the world you're going to get into when you go on Fragrance X, which is my favorite website because, you know, they have a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure somebody will find something negative to say about Fragrance X, but for the most part, for me, I get fast, free delivery. Takes between 2 to 5 business days. So if I order on Friday when I get paid, I'll usually have it that Monday or that Tuesday of the following week. Versus Fragrance Net, it takes them like a whole week. If I order that Friday, I probably won't get it until that following Friday or that following Monday, which sucks. Um, but it's a lot of negativity going on. Everybody is bashing Jeremy Fragrance for, you know, and which I believe everyone has the right to do what they want to do and what they choose to do. Is his channel. As is everyone else's, just like this is mine, and I choose to talk about the content that I talk about, and I do have a following. Jeremy has a following, even though he made his own fragrance, he made that, patriarch, or whatever you want to call it, Patreon, or whatever you call it, where you have to pay to get certain content. Um, that's what he chose to do. I mean, that was his thing. So if you didn't like his content, if you like me, I ended up starting to not like his content. His stuff started to be redundant. He started talking about YSL, and that's all he really talked about. Um, was certain fragrances. Like, he talked about the same ones over and over and over, and I guess that's what people were wanting to hear from his channel. And so I got away from him. I just unsubscribed and went on about my business like he never was there. But then people in the fragrance world can do the same thing, but they choose to sit and watch the content, which, not knowing that it was helping him with his views, which also helps, boost his channel, because even though you're not a subscriber, he still gets the views. And which I don't understand how people don't know that. But if you sit and watch his content, it still boosts his views. And he made his little thing where you have to pay for for certain content, extra content. Um, then he made his fragrance, and the way he boosted it and hyped it, and he wasn't giving out information about it, and people were already, before he even made the shit, people were already talking trash about it. And then when he chose to finally reveal the fragrance, they didn't like how he did it. They say he didn't do this, why he didn't give us a note breakdown, why this, why he named it that. Um, and they questioned every step of his process. Um, and then when he finally put it out, I mean, you should already know that man was gonna bump the price up. I mean, $200 and something or whatever it was for the fragrance that he made, and people are saying that it wasn't even worth it. I mean, you guys are the fools. So, I mean, you can't be mad at him. You should only be mad at yourself, because I feel like if somebody is a bad person and they're like a wolf in sheep's clothing, sooner or later the true person is going to come out. And if I'm not saying Jeremy Fragrance is a bad person for doing what he did, because he chose to do what he wanted to do, but if you guys think that, he was wrong for doing what he did, that man trying to make money. And it's sad that some people like to prey on other people because they know he knows he has a cult following, and most of those people were gonna, pre-order his fragrance. Um, but I mean, he got his money. So what more can you say? What's happening, yo? You good, Cole Freeman sense? I mean, like I said, man, it is what it is. I'm not mad at you, homie. You only can do what you can do. And if it didn't work for you, it just didn't work for you. I mean, I don't see how it couldn't work for you. All you have to do, like I said, is just take whatever content that you was gonna send, box it up, take it to the post office, and tell them, hey, I want to send this to this guy. This is the address. Someone is more than willing to help you. So, it is what it is, but it's cool. Um, yeah, but I just really wanted to come on here this morning. I'm not really talking about any fragrances this morning. Um, I already told you guys what I wore yesterday. I actually had on Aspen when I finally left the house earlier that day. And then when it dried down and kind of faded off, my friend came and scooped me up last night, and we went to the grocery store. And I actually put on Trace Nuit, which was the same kind of scent. And that's pretty much all I had on last night. But, just waking up this morning to the Joy I Mean news and I never expected that. But you can kind of tell watching his, last few videos that the fragrance world was kind of taking a toll on him. He talked about it, I think, sometime last year that he almost came to the point where he just wanted to quit because of so much negativity in the fragrance world, and his love for fragrances was kind of fading because people are taking all the fun out of it. They were taking the joy out of it. No pun intended. They were taking the joy out of it. Um, but on the other hand, for me, people like Joy was giving me inspiration, and just seeing some of you guys, how you talked about me throughout the weeks or months that you've been following me, how I give certain people, certain ones of you guys, inspiration. I make people's day. I've done this and I've done that, and I appreciate all of that. And all of that stems from people like Joy, and I even give Jeremy Fragrance credit because he gave me some inspiration. Also, Big Beard Business, um, Ash from Gent Sense, um, Robes '08. Uh, it's a few other people that I watched also. I don't watch as many videos as I used to. Now, whenever whoever I'm following or subscribed to, whenever their video pops up, I just choose to look at the header. If it seems like something I'm interested in, I'll watch, or I'll watch part of. And most of the time, um, my guy from my guy Cuba Knows, I've noticed kind of lately he don't even give the prices anymore on some of the stuff that he talks about. I've watched several of his videos, and he don't even give the prices anymore. In which that's what he chooses to do. That's his channel. He could do what he want to do. But me, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not knocking anyone. That's their channel. That's their thing. They do what they want to do. It is what it is. I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling for you guys. So hopefully you guys will still like my content. You still give me suggestions on what you think I should try, what I shouldn't try, and I listen. And like I said, this is our channel, and we're gonna rock until the wheels fall off. So with that being said, guys, I gotta get up here and find me something to eat. Turn the tube on, see what's on, and if I wear something or I run into something today, you guys will be the first to know. But peace out.